Do you want to
Speaking of Future, did you guys hear that Future is dating Simon's ex?
Huh?
It's time to go to commercial.
Okay.
Wait, speaking of Porsha, a couple weeks ago, I saw you two in the club at the same time. I don't know if y'all seen each other. I saw y'all at Ladies of R&B, and I was very surprised because I really never see you on Wednesday. I've seen Porsha come a few times.
Yeah.
And in my mind, I was thinking, I hope they don't see each other because I don't want my party to turn left.
Yeah, we definitely locked eyes. I was like, you going to take this moment to say something? Or I said, you know what? It's not even worth it. It's my best friend's birthday.
Because you could have ruined your best friend's birthday.
Right.
And you didn't want to be that
Who
friend.
wants to do that? Right, exactly.
Okay.
And I'm not going to do it for, a licensed prostitute. I'm not doing that.
Whoa!
What's up? My name is E, and I am back again with the story that keeps on giving. Tales of the licensed prostitute. If you have not already, please hit the like and subscribe button and turn on the notifications, babe. It's demon time.
Yeah, that's what she wanted to be. She wanted to be the E-Show. This fucking E bitch is sitting here eating off of me right now as we speak because all you gonna do is do your own fucking blog and then talk about me and put my name in the fucking thumbnail just like Shirella. You know what? You can eat a monkey dick just like that bitch too. Fucking rag-ass lace front you got. She needs it so bad. She needs to get fucked. Yeah, that's what E needs to say. It needs to say exit. Get the fuck out of here, bitch.
Now, first I am going to discuss my theories as to why I believe Falynn called Porsha a licensed prostitute. And then I want to discuss the herpes, and how it possibly could have happened allegedly. And I'm only bringing this up because in a previous video where I discuss Porsha, Simon, and Future, I happened to make a comment flippantly about Porsha being in the house with R. Kelly and the two girls, and they had the herpes. So I want to explain that since it was brought up in the comments, okay? So, really quickly, in the court documents, Simon already presented as evidence that he was paying Porsha a 5-figure monthly allowance. And in Porsha's response via Instagram, Porsha was complaining of bad sex. Those two things, they go together. They go together. 5-figure allowance and bad sex. So the 5-figure allowance was for you to keep your mouth closed. A lot of married women do not get 5-figure allowances from their husbands, especially when the husbands are not even legal citizens. Let her tell it, okay? Now, moving right along. In my previous video about Porsha and Future, I mentioned how Porsha had gotten around and that she had been with R. Kelly. And I also mentioned herpes. Now, somebody left a comment and asked, what did I mean about the herpes? So I will explain that. First, I'll connect the dots where, when, why, and how Porsha knows R. Kelly and how she was sleeping with him around the time frame he was diagnosed with herpes. And then I'll show you all proof that R. Kelly does in fact have herpes, for those who may have forgotten, because this is already circulated around YouTube. It's public knowledge by now. But 3 years ago, People magazine did an expose on Porsha and her coloring book. What was it called? The Pursuit of Porsha. And in the expose, they said the following, and I quote, "Williams was left traumatized from alleged sexual relationship with R. Kelly. Williams writes in her book that she visited Chicago in 2007 when she was 25 years old to meet with R. Kelly about potentially working together when he arranged for her to meet him at his home." Now let's pause right there. What work? What kind of work were you doing? And what kind of work required you to travel to his home? Williams says she was led to his bedroom and left there alone until R. Kelly joined her and told her to take off her clothes. Girl, what? I thought you were supposed to be working. See, this goes back to what Falynn was saying. Licensed prostitutes. Okay, moving right along. The article continues, quote, I've already put myself in this situation, she wrote. This is what you're supposed to do. You have to. There is no turning back. Pause right there. She specifically states Robert Sylvester Kelly told her to take off all of her clothes, but notice what she didn't say. She didn't mention anything about a condom, did she? I didn't read that part. Sometimes I may mess up on a word or two, but I saw no mention of a condom. And typically when people write memoirs and they're detailing their sexual escapades or their trysts with, people who may be famous, they will specifically say that the person pulled out a condom or they didn't, i.e. Corinne Steffens. When Corinne Steffens wrote her book and she mentioned she went into the back of the limo with Jay-Z, she specifically said he put a condom on it. Porsha never mentioned the condom, okay? Let's move forward. Quote, after seeing him 2 more times, Williams wrote, she said she woke up once to hear another woman being beaten in another room and decided not to see him again. Pause. Who was beating the other woman? Who? Was it multiple men in the house? Since it was multiple women, were there other men involved? Because if so, it sounds like a FO party. But maybe not. Next question, how were you able to fall asleep with other women in the next room to begin with? Because logic tells me if you could hear those other women, I am sure they heard you too. And for what Kenya described, the night that Bolo was over to the girls' trip, you woke up the whole house with all the noise you was making. Candy and Marlo heard it too. So why didn't you call the police? You heard a young girl being beaten. That's a crime in progress you were listening to. Somebody's 16-year-old daughter was next door, allegedly. Anywho's, let's remember our key details before we move on to R. Kelly. 1. Porsha voluntarily slept with R. Kelly no less than 3 times, according to her, via traveling from her residence in Atlanta to his place in Chicago. 2. She was free to leave at any time and ultimately did leave and decided not to return after witnessing a crime in progress. And 3, this happened in the year 2007, okay? Now, let's connect the dots because R. Kelly does, in fact, have herpes. That is a fact. Now, we all know this information thanks to Dr. McGrath. So let's read a little snippet. Quote, McGrath said he first met Kelly through Daryl McDavid, a patient of his who also worked as an accountant for the singer in January 1994. Pause. The whole staff that was being employed by Jive Records and R. Kelly, they were all being treated by Dr. McGrath because they were all sharing the same girls. Okay? Anywho, quote, Kelly had a concern about chlamydia. McGrath wrote in his notes from his visits with the singer. The notes were entered into the court record and shown on screen in the courtroom. According to McGrath's notes, Kelly also complained of pain in his genitals. McGrath ordered a test for chlamydia, which came back negative, and another for gonorrhea, which turned out positive. McGrath testified he instructed Kelly to practice safe sex and inform his sexual partners about the diagnosis. He also said he wanted to order additional tests, but that Kelly turned them down for quote-unquote privacy reasons. Pause right there. Were these other tests HIV and herpes? And what do you mean privacy reasons? He called the doctor to his home for privacy to do the in-home test for gonorrhea and chlamydia, but doesn't want to do the HIV and herpes test. Why? I can draw and infer a lot of different conclusions on that alone. Privacy reasons? Let's continue. The prosecution showed records of another appointment with Dr. McGrath on June 5, 2000. Kelly complained of pain and blisters on his genitals. He said he wore leather pants without underwear for a photo shoot. According to Dr. McGrath's notes, McGrath believed the irritation could be from either herpes, which has symptoms consistent with what Kelly was experiencing, or some kind of irritation from dye chemicals in the leather pants. Pause. Blisters on his genitals, and he's running around having unprotected sex with underage girls and young women, and he has blisters on it. Blisters. Damn kidding me? Let's continue. A herpes culture test came back negative, McGrath said, but he testified that the timing of the test meant that he still couldn't rule out a herpes diagnosis. So he still could have had it, and this is as early as June 5th, 2000. Okay? Pay attention to the dates. McGrath later diagnosed Kelly with herpes after he complained of recurrent lesions and saw that Kelly was responding well to Valtrex, a drug used to treat the virus. Over time, the patient had complaints about the bumps, and the treatment worked, McGrath said. As McGrath recalled on the stand, Kelly said, "I should not put it in raw. I should put a hood on it." To which McGrath testified he responded, "Yes, you should put on a condom." Pause. So it didn't click to him to wear a condom after first catching the gonorrhea, even though he thought it was chlamydia, which I don't know how the hell I don't know. But now you want me to believe that he now has this epiphany to wear one after now catching herpes and declining an HIV test due to privacy reasons. Let's continue. One document showed McGrath had prescribed Kelly herpes medication dating back to at least March 2007. McGrath testified that R. Kelly or his employees would frequently call him to place orders for the quote-unquote blue pills, which he called the herpes medication. Sometimes Kelly would make office visits, but McGrath also made house calls to Kelly's home in Olympia Fields, Illinois, and studios in Chicago. That's the same place Porsha was coming to visit, right? Porsha says she was traveling to Chicago and met with him 3 times and engaged in intercourse in the year 2007. These are her own words, and these are the doctor's own words. So are we putting this together? Because I am not saying that Porsha has herpes, because I don't know for sure. And if she were to sue me, bitch, I ain't got it. But what I am saying is, because somebody asked me about it, I can say that Porsha was sleeping with R. Kelly during the same time frame he was diagnosed with herpes. It's public record. And what I can say is usually when people don't write that a condom was involved during their sexual tryst, it's because they didn't use one. But even if he did, condoms are not 100% effective when it comes to preventing and transmitting herpes. Porsha wrote this in her book that she came there for work. So she went to the house in Chicago for work. And when she arrived, she was taken to the bedroom and instructed to take off all her clothes, and she did. And she was only there for work, right? But you ended up sleeping with him without your clothes on, and you were sleeping with him with other girls in the next room. So this is probably why Falynn refers to Porsha as a licensed lady of the night. This is why. And before I close out this video, I must say Porsha is a very beautiful woman. And it's so sad that she has engaged in so many one-night stands and reckless sexual activity that she would even compromise her health just for the sake of being associated with fame. And I think it's irresponsible to promote hookup culture and to promote getting with rich men and quitting your jobs to get a 5-figure allowance without acknowledging the undisclosed add-on that it comes with. There are incurable STDs out here. Men have stuff and they're not telling women, and vice versa. Women have stuff and they're not telling the men. And Porsha was laying in the bed, listening to women being beaten and thinking to herself, I'm not coming back. She had a choice. And the overall thing that I hope clicks with people is she should not have even been there in the first place. Just like with Simon, that was Falynn's husband. Right, wrong, or indifferent, I don't give a damn what Falynn was doing. That was still Falynn's husband. Porsha should not have been in between those two in the first place. Understand? So that's all I have. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and let's stay in touch. Bye.